My name is Randy Schrader. And what I really wish more than anything else, is that we could be face to face together right now. If we could, so that I could come to understand and know what is important to you, then I believe that we could illustrate with clarity how the solutions offered by Lev AI could help you accomplish things that are important to you in your life. Let me quickly share my screen so that we can talk specifically about this company, this concept, and you can see that to which I refer. Lev AI, the future in your hands. What is Lev AI? It's a company that stands for Leveraging Artificial Intelligence. That's the company's name. The concept is to deliver accessible artificial intelligence to the masses of planet Earth. The concept, the vision, is to deliver the most sophisticated suite of artificial intelligent tools available any place under one house with a group of applications that talk together to communicate one with another that overcome the complexities that people are experiencing as they race to adopt AI. And why are they racing to adopt AI? Because there's a growing awareness among many that the inevitable widespread adoption is as certain today as was the widespread adoption of computers back in the early 1980s and the widespread adoption of the internet in the 80s and 90s. It is not a question of whether we will adopt AI. The global adoption of AI is already underway. It has begun. The question is simply, will we use AI as perhaps you use a computer? Or will you become the conduit to other people's use, as Stephen Jobs was? Will you use the internet? The answer to that is yes, we'll all be required to. Or will you be a conduit to other people's use to cause that which is destined to occur? And folks, know and understand this: the widespread adoption of AI is destined to occur. One thing I learned in my life is that if I'm struggling trying to make something happen, that's probably a losing proposition. If, on the other hand, we are able to identify that which is destined to occur just a little more quickly than the masses of humanity do and become a conduit to causing that which is destined to happen a little sooner, that's when something remarkable can happen. And so today we deliver to you the opportunity to utilize accessible AI along with the rest of planet Earth. And we offered you the possibility of becoming a conduit to other people's use of accessible AI, and in so doing, generate royalties. Maybe royalties that are a whole lot greater than anything that has been possible to you up until now. It, of course, gives me joy to introduce and recognize my son Blake as the president of Lev AI. I would have made that higher if I were in the control position. I'm not in the control position. I'm a participant. I'm a member, the same as you are or can be. He was hired by the owner of the company. We'll talk in a few moments about who that owner is and why that's so profoundly important. Blake has many, many years, first an entire youth and childhood of living in the home of an entrepreneur. And so he understands the risks that are taken. He understands the sacrifices that are made, and he understands the absolute necessity of ownership and management over a long period of time to honor those sacrifices made when the foundation was built. You can have confidence that Blake will honor whatever sacrifices we as an organization make. And by the way, sacrifices are made. Today, it's Saturday. I could be out doing something with my little boy. I'm talking with you. I love that I'm talking with you, but that is a tangible sacrifice. These sacrifices that are made need to be honored long term. Blake will do that. I know it. Next, he's an attorney. He's aware of the legal complexities that companies must survive and thrive as they navigate in the early going and the late going. He also has deep experience in the direct selling industry. He was the general manager of Monavi Israel for a period of time, then managed all of the U.S., Middle East, North American, Middle East, Latin American, and European businesses for that company at a time when sales were in excess of $500 million annually. And his most recent success was when, as the CEO of Medical Marijuana Incorporated, he guided that company through the end of the prohibition of cannabis in a tremendously successful way. And now has recently completed his non-compete agreement, making him eligible to help us drive this company into an unbelievable future. Even before we comment on this one, back in September, October, when I first began delving into the world of AI, what I found was the conversations were ongoing and had been ongoing for some time. And some of the people that I studied, some of the comments that I heard were literally mind-blowing to me. I think of the gentleman who is the CEO of Google. His name is Mr. Pichai. And what Sundar Pichai says is that the AI will be more profound than fire or electricity or anything we've done in the past. Now, this is not an insignificant person making that statement. This is Sundar Pichai, the CEO of Google, stating that artificial intelligence will be more profound than fire or electricity or anything we've done in the past. That demands that we wipe clean the metaphorical whiteboard. I've got a whiteboard behind me. We wipe it clean and realize that whatever were the boundaries and the barriers, the lids to past successes, they can be removed now. Why? Because artificial intelligence is more profound than fire or electricity or anything we've done in the past. We need to recognize that this is not a continuation of our careers. This is a moment in time. It's a turning point. It's an inflection point for the entire global society as we will all be compelled to adopt. Very much like we really didn't have a choice. Here we see the deepest mind of deep mind, Denise Hassabis, stating that the difference here with artificial intelligence is that it's going to be 10 times bigger than the Industrial Revolution and maybe 10 times faster. Well, that would seemingly be an absurd statement, wouldn't it? Were it not be being made by a person of this profound credibility, knowledge, expertise, and wisdom. So we find ourselves not at one of the moments in our lives that are a little different. We find ourselves at a complete total inflection point. Maybe you've had one or two possibilities like this before. If you, like me, were here at the advent of computerization, none of us were here when the Industrial Revolution happened. And today, as I've been communicating, I don't mean just literally this hour today, I mean over the course of the last weeks, as I've been communicating with people about what is impending and what is taking place, I've had every kind of a reaction from profound enthusiasm and excitement to at times doubts, fears, and concerns, people actually being afraid of it. And I can understand that. Imagine the Industrial Revolution is about to occur, and my career and my job is in building harnesses for draft horses who are going to pull plows. Well, shortly they would be replaced with tractors. And so I could either choose to leverage the change to become a cause, one of the reasons for that change, and therefore have it be a dramatic positive in my life, or I could bewail the fact that people are not going to buy my collars anymore. Each one of us needs to decide. Are we going to use? The answer is yes, we're going to use. That'll be thrust upon us. Are we going to allow ourselves to become victimized by progress? If so, well, then we own that. Or are we instead going to embrace that progress and recognize that if we become a conduit to other people's embracing of the same, that this can be perhaps the single biggest win of our lives? Lev AI. And let's remember that Lev AI, that's a company, stands for Leveraging Artificial Intelligence. The concept is to bring accessible AI to the masses of planet Earth. That's an important concept. We want to bring accessible AI to the masses of planet Earth. We intend, is our absolute purpose, our intent, and we'll deliver it to the world in the coming couple of days. It is our intent to deliver to the world the most sophisticated, fully interactive market basket of tools within one suite that communicate effectively one with another to eliminate the complexities and the confusions that plague the early adopters of AI so far, to make it so eminently simple that an 8-year-old can do it. And by the way, when I say so eminently simple that an 8-year-old can do it, 8-year-olds can do a lot of things that 78-year-old people cannot do because they've been adopting this technology from the start. I have an 8-year-old and I watch it happening in front of me. Lev A.I makes it simple for entrepreneurs to launch, market, and grow businesses. And by the way, there are 388 million small businesses in the world, 388 million solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, sidepreneurs. They're trying to wrap their arms around this idea of AI. Everybody's talking about it. Some are excited, some are afraid, some are confused. What Lev AI seeks to do is provide clarity in the confusing world of the mix match group of applications trying to accomplish a simple task. We bring it all into one roof. And in fact, instead of having multiple subscriptions, multiple new systems to learn, multiple costs, reducing it all to simply one, just to one. And in my career, this is a turning point. Why is it a turning point? Because over the course of my career, I have always represented really, really good products, premium products. And the result of that is that not infrequently, I've had to explain away the price and I've had to justify why whatever my company was offering was at a higher price than something so seemingly similar being offered a lower price. The truth is that mostly that's been because the products I have offered have been priced to fund a compensation plan as opposed to being priced to meet the need of the consumer. That day is essentially over. In solopreneurship, entrepreneurship, that's over. Now, the mandate is to produce, to deliver to people a product that has a degree of uniqueness that makes it special, that makes it stand out, and yet find a way to do that in such a way that that person could never argue that they could accomplish this someplace else for less money. I want you to know that this is the first time in my entire career that I've been able to make this seemingly amazing statement that we offer the finest solution, that you cannot acquire something superior to what we offer anyplace else for less money. We offer the finest solution and we offer the best price. Those two would seem to contraindicate one another, would they not? Mercedes Benz does not argue that they offer the best price. Their argument is they offer the best vehicle. Kia doesn't argue that they make the best vehicle in the world. They argue that they make a great value because they make a good vehicle at a good price. But you see, it's really, really hard. In my career, I've never had an instance where I could describe factually something that is the best and the best price. Well, today we can. Welcome to Lev AI. This makes building and maintaining candidate and customer lists far easier. Perhaps that's the single most important thing that must be accomplished by any newcomer to the business world, trying to have a constant flow of new participants, new buyers of our product or service. The Lev AI solution will make that not just easier, but possible for many for whom up until now it seemed to be an impossibility. I pick and choose the bullet points that I talk about. I love the one that says removes barriers that make you feel stuck. The reason this is important to me is because over the course of these many years of entrepreneurship, I've never witnessed or participated with a single person who has done all that which is required to succeed, but done it poorly and therefore failed. I've literally never seen it. Unfortunately and sadly, what I have seen are countless people who have simply not done that which is required to succeed. Once again, I've never seen somebody do what's required but do it poorly and fail. I've instead seen countless people who didn't do what was required. And why did they not? Most frequently because of lack of knowledge, which resulted in insecurity or fear. If we can remove the barriers that make a person feel stuck so they engage in the correct activities, then Cicero will again be shown to be accurate when he said the skill to do comes from the doing. So as we create proved and predictable patterns of activities, leveraging artificial intelligence in such a way that the body of knowledge of an entire leadership group can be brought to bear in any conversation, literally at the push of a button. Suddenly, we can cause people to feel empowered, to no longer be afraid, locked in fear, but to be empowered, therefore able to act. That empowerment will result in Cicero again being borne out when he stated the skill to do comes from the doing. So, if we can remove the fear of failure, that will result in more revenue producing activities. Each revenue producing activity will result in more accumulation of skill. As one develops skill, they become more confident, they have a more positive poise, and a more correct self esteem. That is that is another way of saying that they have become something they were not before. They have become the attractive leader that others are gravitating to. One of the areas that I found early on in my conversations is some people thought that AI would replace the uniqueness of humans and it would replace the heart part. Well, it cannot. You might argue that AI could replace the head part. You could never argue that AI replaced the heart part. That's where you fit in. And so the combination of you plus I think, is about 1,000 times more than just you. Notice I didn't say two or three times more. It's about 1,000 times more than just you. And that will remove the fear of failure. That then results in more revenue producing activities and the flow goes on. There are a host of issues which need to be addressed in the AI world. And here we'll describe how we address the host of issues. First, one could accurately predict future results by looking at current influence. A person who has lots of influence, highly influential person, we can predict a great success in the future because people respond to their message, whatever their message is. If, on the other hand, a person has limited influence, then they have not as great a chance. In fact, it becomes extraordinarily difficult for one with limited influence to have breakthrough financial successes. Those two don't line up one with another. So if we can accurately predict future results by looking at current influence, and if we find that current influence is insufficient, that should be a primary target of what we do. And in fact, it is. With my AI social, literally from the time of your first introduction to the technology, in the background, we'll begin building your social media presence. And in so doing, in fact, building your future value in the market. Done in a variety of ways. The first and the easiest way is we simply do a screenshot import to a very robust CRM that is inclusive in the Lev AI solution. And one of the things that I find very important is that we will save people money, not cost them money when they begin using our product. It will not just be that we improve revenue, we will also reduce expense. How? Because today, this mixed match of applications, one for CRM, one for website building, one for improving social media presence, they all have individual subscriptions. And most of those individual subscriptions individually are more than our total suite. And so we reduce costs coming out of the gate, and we reduce costs by introducing people to an improved service. So if you're using CRM today, if you're using a customer relationship management tool, it does not do what the CRM that is inclusive in the Lev AI solution does. And you're currently paying more for it, not less. So eliminate your current CRM. Simple screenshot import, a customer contact relationship management device. And immediately upon import, your Lev AI solution will begin scouring, scanning the social media profiles of each candidate and telling you what they want to talk about. This is important. There came a time in my career when I realized a complete backwards thought process. I was trying to persuade people to do what I wanted them to do for some economic outcome that would benefit me. That's crazy thinking. It's backwards thought. It's extremely immature and selfish. Quite a few years ago, I realized that what I really want to do is find a way to talk less and listen more. And we can listen. Now, we metaphorically get to listen through AI because they go out and scour and scan and come back and report back to us. What is our candidate talking about? What are they saying? What's important to them? How can we address their need? You see, when we address somebody else's need and allow our positive financial result to come as a side effect, a secondary outcome from helping someone else accomplish what they want to, then things get easy. When with your CRM import, you know what the candidate wants to talk about, things get remarkably easier. And that will certainly help people no longer be stuck, result in more revenue producing activities, result in more skill being built, result in more poise, confidence, self esteem, the development of a leader. Screenshot contact import, I've described that. Contact enhancement, knowing what each contact wants to talk about and why. Immeasurable worth. And then I contemplate the continued possibility of actually saving people money, not having an immediate expense upon using our service. How? Because you'll no longer need to hire a tech firm to build and maintain websites. You can do it yourself in a matter of minutes. It's really quite remarkable how effective, how quick, and I'm not talking about a self-replicated site that any network marketing company spits out. No, I'm talking about a technologically advanced, robust website. You can attach shopping carts to it. Anything a tech firm can do in building a website, you can do for yourself, and it's all inclusive in the Lev AI solution. It'll take fewer than 30 minutes from the very first time. Then, the best way that I can describe this, these nudges, it says, prompts to help a new member or an existing, a seasoned member stay on track. The way that I like to think of this is I'm an airplane pilot, and I sometimes I have an instrument rating, which means that sometimes I fly in the clouds. Now, if I'm flying in the clouds, it's really important that I have someone to guide me from place to place. I have my instruments. That would sort of be like your policies and procedures. I have my instruments. I have my proved and predictable pattern of activities. But wouldn't it help? Don't you think it would help if I had someone guiding me every step? If I made a mistake, if I was getting off track? That's what the air route traffic control does. 6162 Romeo, you've fallen beneath the MEA, the minimum en route altitude. Please climb 1,000 feet. A prompt to get back on track. 6162 Romeo, you are varying off the airway. And just as there is a highway on the ground, there are highways in the sky. They're called airway. 6162 Romeo, you're 2 or 3 degrees off course. Please make a 3-degree turn to the right and return to the center line. You see, I imagine the possibility of every newcomer to my business, our business, your business, having an air route traffic controller literally in their pocket. That being what? That being their AI coach, that being their personalized GPT. A personalized GPT? What's that about? Well, 700 million people on planet Earth logged into Chat GPT this week, and they were looking for answers to questions and solutions to problems. They got good answers to those questions and they got good solutions to their problems. They didn't get perfect answers or solutions. Why? Because ChatGPT, by definition, pulled the generic information. And that's what it is. If it's information that is not specific to your enterprise, then it is generic information. And so ChatGPT provided good answers and good solutions that were possible from generic content not specific to your project. Now imagine your own personalized ChatGPT that is loaded up with all of the content that is specific to your business, to your enterprise, to your culture. And now you see, you literally have that air route traffic control center in the pocket, literally in the hip pocket of you when you're starting or of every new team member. This guiding a person back to the center line, giving them the confidence, the empowerment to not be stuck. When no longer stuck, the skill to do comes from the doing, and things change. And then I consider this thought. Why is it that there's such a large number, a big percentage of people who enter the world of entrepreneurship and don't accomplish what they want? I think there are a few reasons for that, but there is one that is somewhat universal that we can overcome literally immediately. And what is that? Most of us who are entrepreneurs became an entrepreneur. We first had a job. And in that job, there were borders. In the job, any employer I've ever had has told me what time to come to work and what time I could go home. They've told me what my tasks are that I must accomplish and to whom I must report, and the nature of the report, and so on. And so I could react to the demands of the employer. I had boundaries. Then what I found out someday, one day, is what? I really want to do what I want. I want to work when I want, where I want, with whom I want, and if I want. And I don't want some employer assigning my value. I want to prove my own value in the marketplace. But I've never seen a job posting that said, we are looking for people who would like to work when they want, where they want, with whom they want, and if they want, people who want to establish their own worth. Why have I never seen that job description? Because that is a description of entrepreneurship. That is not a description of a job. And so when we suddenly realize that, no, I belong in this other camp, and some people need to be employees, entrepreneurs need great, dedicated, loyal employees who want to live inside that box. There are those who want to have a foot in both boxes, and there are those who want to be specific to employment and those who want to be specific to entrepreneurship. I, of course, am specific to entrepreneurship. I can't imagine anything that would help more when we have my reactive individual seeking to become proactive. What if we had a group of contacts every month who had said, I want to know more about entrepreneurship. I want to know more about home based business. I want to know more about AI. And they've already opted in to receive a phone call and receive emails and messages from you. Would it not be clearly easier for anyone to react, to respond to the person requesting information? So, kind of a middle ground, the pure reactivity of employment, the pure proactivity of entrepreneurship. Now, in the middle, I get to react to a request from someone for information. My gosh, isn't that incredibly easier? I understand you know about AI. I want to learn. Can you help me? I understand you have an AI project that has a compensation plan associated with it. Can you teach me how that works? Isn't it incredibly easier to respond to that query than it is to provoke the conversation? Now, I've long stayed away from lead generation programs simply because I've I've seen in my career people who've spent money on a lead and had it not produce what they wanted and therefore get resentful and disappear. I've never wanted that to happen. But what if there was no added cost? What if it was simply inclusive in your subscription? Then there would only be good that would come from it. And that is part of the Lev AI solution. There's even more. Every plan includes your own avatar. I call it a digital twin that looks like you, or you can pick one from the library. And when I say it looks like you, I mean it looks exactly like you. Give it any script or utilize your personalized GPT to create it. And unlike me, and probably unlike you, your digital twin can speak fluently in 150 languages. I can't illustrate this today. When Blake makes his announcement of the next corporate update, I'm believing we'll get that email today. You'll get to see other iterations of my AI video in action. Later today, I'm thinking later today, I'll have my own avatar. And the thing that's stunning and fascinating to me is the ability to load it with such dense and rich content that we can actually take an avatar and create a fully conversant, interactive digital clone of yourself. And I will assure you that those people who've struggled in your careers in home based business trying to attract enough candidates to populate a group, those days are over because suddenly sending a digital version of you that looks, talks, sounds, its mannerisms are you. The difference is it speaks fluently in Russian and Mandarin and Tagalog and Hindi and on it goes. This will provoke queries. How did you do that? Can I do it too? Don't don't let any of the grains of sand of opportunity when the entire newness of AI is so profoundly shocking to people. Literally everyone can have more candidates than you've ever dreamed of by properly utilizing my AI. And so doing, give it your script or let your personalized GPT create it. And there's just so much personalization here. My voice, my own voice, it's kind of a trademark for me. I wouldn't want to use another voice. People know Randy's got that kind of squeaky, funky voice. It's a trademark of mine. Whether or not you know it, your voice is probably a trademark. But if for some reason you don't like the sound of your voice, well, use one of those. You can pick one from the library, and you get to set the emotion, the tone, the cadence, the pace. It's really quite remarkable. I've seen my friend Larry Lang speaking in Hindi, but I know he doesn't speak Hindi. I've seen him and I've heard him speaking Korean. I know he doesn't speak Korean, but his avatar does, and it does it beautifully. This is the first time in my life I've been able to represent a product that is the best and also the least expensive. But here we have it. Two packages, $49 a month and $99 a month. Absolutely stunning value. Your likeness, your voice, speaking your script flawlessly in dozens of languages for $50 a month. I mean, it's to me almost unimaginable. And you can even use AI to generate your script. So it's not just talking, it's talking about what your candidate wants to talk about in his or her language. AI writing assistant, creating engaging posts, which results in more interaction, which grows your social media presence, a process to improve your future value. Business profiles. Many of us have more than one message to deliver. Certainly I do. Being able, if I select the pro package, which of course I will, being able to have multiple business profiles. The conversations I would have with one who is involved in a coaching business would simply not be the same as the conversation I'd have with one if I owned a paint store, right? Two different thoughts. Well, some families have both of those kinds of things going on at once. Having multiple profiles is necessary for those with multiple messages to deliver. The social media growth and engagement is of immeasurable worth. We can't, that there's no way that when we talk about $49 or $99, folks, remember future results can be accurately predicted by current influence. Your current results are a reflection of 2 years ago's influence. If you want to change your results, you must start to change your influence all by itself, growing your social media presence, letting Lev AI do for you, which up until now you have not been able to do for yourself, will change your future value and it will start changing immediately. My network, CRM with screenshot import, critically important to screenshot import, but then AI powered profile enrichment telling me what each candidate wants to talk about. We've described the fact that you'll no longer need to pay a tech firm to build and maintain your websites. And the CRM actually includes a fully baked lead funnel that takes every candidate imported into that CRM through a proved and predictable pattern of activities, getting him or her to their point of logical conclusion in the shortest possible period of time. This is, again, to me, I look at the price points and I look at the services being offered, and frankly, I am stunned. The enhanced CRM with professional lead funnels is worth more. If that's all it was, it's worth more than the total price. The digital assistant is worth more than the total price. The ability to grow your social media network is worth multiples of the current price. This is one of those rare moments when we can represent the best product, the best technology, and also represent the best price. And remarkably enough, we'll have over 2 billion searchable candidates who have asked for information. And we'll have a number of those, depending on which package we acquired, which will be available to us to search every month as we set our ball in motion and continue to seek to grow our businesses over time. And then bang the gong and ring the bell, folks, depending on the depth of your content. So I've been, and I guess you could call me a content provider to some degree. I've taught leadership sessions on a global scale for a long time, but it's always been frustrating because my message could only be effectively delivered in English. And so the results would be more determined by the quality of my interpreter than by the quality of the message. That's the truth. And that's always frustrated me. Sometimes I've had brilliant interpretation and I could see the audience was getting it. But even if the interpretation is brilliant, they're getting it filtered through somebody else's life experience, not through mine when there's an interpretation. When suddenly I can speak to you, whoever you are, in your language, wherever you are, when suddenly you are not relegated to the one place on the planet where you can be at one time. Starting next week, folks, I can be, and you can be, in every nation in the world, in every city in the world, in every home in the world, all at one time, speaking the language that is appropriate for that household. Are you kidding me? For $99 a month? This is something that I've not encountered before. I've never encountered it. I think that this dramatically understates the reality. I don't think you could begin to replicate what this company does for $315 a month. I think any one of those components you'd likely spend that much on. So this is a tremendous value, completely unique. not explaining away the price unless I'm explaining away how inexpensive it is. Strong value for all members, accessible around the globe, only a handful of nations where there are political challenges going on and sanctions that would stop us from work there. High member satisfaction yields to what? Long-term member use, which leads to what? Stable business and great incomes. So what exactly is the opportunity? When I think of the opportunity, this slide is a great slide, but it doesn't describe it to me. What really is the opportunity? Well, today there are 8 billion people on planet Earth. What percentage of those 8 billion people do you suppose use a computer? I can tell you it's more than 90%. What percentage of people on planet Earth get online, at least periodically? It is more than 90% of those 8 billion people. That is the same number of people who will be required to adopt AI. They don't have a choice. They will be required to adopt AI. Therefore, how big is your market opportunity? If you have the opportunity to be a conduit to their use, you offer the finest technology, period, the most sophisticated, the easiest to use, and the least expensive. And there's a compensation plan associated with it. How big is the market opportunity? It's bigger than you're thinking. It's bigger than you can imagine. This is more profound than fire or electricity or anything we've done in the past, according to Sundar Pichai, CEO of Google, and according to Demis Hassabis. This is going to be the difference with this AI is it's going to be 10 times bigger than the Industrial Revolution and perhaps 10 times faster. So you tell me, what is the scope of the opportunity? It is enough to cause us to get up an hour earlier and stay up an hour later and make a few appropriate sacrifices as we create the foundation upon which others will build for decades. Should you choose to become the conduit to other people's use, you'll earn an acquisition bonus. Somebody says, of course I want that. And by the way, everybody is going to have to say yes to AI. The question is, will they say yes to the best product at the best price because you introduced them? If so, you'll get paid 50% of their purchase price and then an ongoing 20% of their subscription every single month. If you choose to build teams, organizations in depth, it is your choice. You need not. You can build a purely customer centric business, getting paid 20% on every ongoing registration. You can also build teams. You can build teams, leadership structures. That's been my career for many years. Should you choose to do so, we'll build a simple 8 generation deep unilevel compensation plan. The components of the compensation plan are as follows. When you are the conduit to someone else's use, they buy the product, you get paid an acquisition bonus, it's 50%. On an ongoing basis, those that you enroll them either as a customer or as a partner. Those that you enroll in your first generation, every month from now on, never ending, you'll be paid 20% of their ongoing subscription price. Recurring income as a result of a use of a technology which will become so endemic that it could not be avoided. Could I wake up today and decide not to use the internet? No, I could not. Could I wake up today and decide not to use a computer? No, I could not. In the very near future, I will not be able to wake up and decide not to use AI. The question is simply this: will you be the conduit to one's use, get an acquisition bonus? Will you be, as a result of the acquisition bonus, will you be the one who's positioned to earn an ongoing 20% royalty month after month as they pay that ongoing subscription times potentially millions of people? And then will you build teams? If you build teams, then it'll be an 8 generation unilevel payout. It also has, and by the way, fully compressed, it also has beyond that 8 generation unilevel, also a 4% infinity payout to connect leadership together and a check match component, which is predicated on all parts of the compensation plan, not only on team commissions. This will produce larger checks than anyone is right now thinking of. No one is contemplating and considering what might occur. Why are they not? Well, because this is more profound than fire or electricity or anything we've done in the past. And so people are measuring possibilities with bad knowledge because it's old, outdated knowledge. This is more profound than fire or electricity or anything we've done in the past. A couple of quick launch updates. Blake will tighten this up sometime this weekend. Maybe it's out now. I haven't seen. We'll get an invitation to the next corporate update. And in the next corporate update, we will learn about the opening. And it's going to open this coming week. Well, that's a statement of fact. We are going to open this coming week. Is it going to be Monday? I think so. Might it be Wednesday? Entirely possible. In fact, there's some clues I'm getting today that it might be Wednesday, but we're opening this coming week. And at the time of opening, I believe that the final testing will be completed and we'll also have application. We'll have access to the app, which is beautiful. The Lev A.I back office, I've had the chance to tinker around and play with it a little bit. It is extraordinarily intuitive. It is easy. It is just not complicated. And most importantly, it works all the time. Team management. If you've already joined us and you've begun enrolling other people, I would encourage you to please go to your Lev AI. I wouldn't call it a temporary portal because it's the permanent back office. It only has a little bit of the functionality turned on right now, the balance turned on when we go live in the coming days. But you will find there a tab called resources. Click on it and it will help you understand how to construct your business. Multi-language support is already available, 10 languages, a whole bunch more are coming. I would like to say that we have established banking relationships all over planet Earth and are prepared to go everywhere with seamless credit card processing. That's not accurate. Why is it not accurate? We decided that as opposed to waiting 4 or 5 or 6 months, which is what will be required to get fully seamless CC credit card processing in some more challenging markets, we decided that the opportunity was too profound right now, like fire, electricity. We decided that having any of the grains of sand slip through the top of the hourglass to the bottom because we're waiting for effective credit card processing would not be a good idea. And so I can tell you that in the United States and Canada, pretty much all credit cards will process. In many foreign nations, we might have a 20 or 25% failure rate on CCs until we establish local banking relationships. That's the truth. And so, because that's the truth, I encourage every one of you who live outside of the United States to log into PayPal and establish an account. This will overcome the problem. PayPal is supported nearly globally in almost every market. There is no meaningful cost associated with it, no cost whatsoever in establishing the account, and the cash in and cash out costs are very, very manageable. We will also very shortly solve the problem of credit cards because we'll begin accepting crypto payments about 1 week after the formal launch, not a long time, about 1 week later. And then, because of who our owner is, we can all be assured of long-term, very, very effective credit card processing on a global scale. Follow us on social media. If you're not doing so yet, don't miss one update. Don't miss one bit of information. Because folks, remember, this is going to be 10 times bigger than the Industrial Revolution and maybe 10 times faster. These are days that are precious. We cannot call them back. We should not allow any of the information to ever escape our grasp. People have asked me on a recurring basis, Randy, what exactly are you doing? Why is this seemingly so easy for you? And they're right. It's not just seemingly easy. It is. It's because everybody is talking about AI. Everybody is. They're just not talking to you. And so what do I do? Well, go to youtube.com/ at GetLevAIHQ, and there you'll find a 90-second sizzle video. So what exactly do I do? What I do is every night, but right the last thing before going to sleep, before going to bed, I create text that says something like this. Something like this might be these exact words. It is hi, and I don't even put the name because if I put the name, then I've got to write every text. That's not what I'm doing. I say, hi, are you yet aware? Hi, are you yet aware of artificial intelligence and have you learned how to leverage it to your benefit? I suggest you watch this video, or please watch this video, or watch this video, whatever it is. Are you yet aware of the impending changes to our global society created by artificial intelligence? Have you learned how to leverage it to your benefit? If not, you may very well be victimized by it. Please review the video clip below and then let's talk. Something like that. Nothing complicated, super simple, as easy as this. What do you know about AI? You don't know enough. Watch this video clip. You'll know more. Then let's talk. Make it easy, folks. Don't make it hard. And then I simply copy that and paste, and I send it 50 times a day. That's what I do. Go to my phone, and I start with the A's. Send, 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 50 times. The next day, I go to my Facebook Messenger. Send, 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 50 times. The next day, I go to WhatsApp. Send, 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 50 times. That's what I do. And I'm not nothing special, folks. I'm not, oh my gosh, this is the perfect candidate. Oh my gosh. No, 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 no. A, B, 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 C, C, C. Every one of those people are going to be required to adopt AI. I'm doing them a favor by giving them a chance to adopt Lev AI. I'm doing them a favor because they're getting the best product. And I'm doing them a favor because who knows, they just might likewise choose to be a conduit to somebody else's use. I indicated a few moments ago that ultimately I'm completely certain of global efficiency in CC and credit card processing. Why? Because our company is owned by Terry LaCour. And Terry LaCour, his businesses, LaCour Enterprises, is the global service provider for Lev AI. the rapid deployment that we're going on right now, the rapid development, and it is quite remarkable, folks. I mean, we've gone from 0 to 32,000 early adopters in the last 30 days. And I believe that our daily application flow is going to go to 10,000 or more per day as soon as people begin seeing, using, experiencing the Lev AI solutions. And they're coming out in just the next few days. This is all made possible by the overarching financial wellness and ability to invest, ability to hire the right people, contract the right services of Terry LaCour's organization. LaCour Payment Technologies. He provides payment services, income, credit card processing around the world for all kinds of companies. Obviously, he can provide them for this company. Simply takes a little bit of planning, a little bit of work. By the time January comes, you'll find that we are operationally efficient from that standpoint everywhere. Access to leading back office commissions and operating history, hundreds of years of collective team experience, over 25 years in the micro enterprise world, $7 billion in revenue. A remarkable moment, folks. A remarkable moment. Let this little picture get drilled into your head. Let it get embroiled and blazoned in your psyche, so it can't be removed. All companies start on the bottom left-hand corner of the graph. Most of them finish there. They don't get off the ground floor. Every once in a while, a company comes along whose product, service, and opportunity is so profound that it stops being obscure and it starts to become popularized. When is the money made? When is the money made? The money is made by the people who create the foundation upon which others build. Is the money made because one catches a momentum wave? No, the money is made because one created the foundation which made possible a momentum wave in the future. And now the difference is that that momentum wave need not collapse behind the early recruiting mechanism because we're not selling an overpriced product that can be replaced tomorrow. Because we are delivering a product that is, in fact, a global mandate. We are delivering the best product and we're delivering it at the best price. And we have the opportunity then to be at the absolute bottom left-hand corner of the graph, not suffer the risks typically a part and a partial of that. Why? Because LaCour Enterprises is the global service provider for Lev AI, and because Terry owns the company. And so then the question for me, for you, for all of us is simply this. Are you ready to lead the AI future with Lev AI? I hope so. You know, I need to really take a look at this. I've got another Zoom coming up in a moment. Are you ready to lead the AI future with Lev AI? If the answer to that is yes, then I encourage you, I'll go beyond that, I implore you. Contact whomever invited you here and ask to receive the online registration form. Complete it now. Now is the time to start. And notice it says there, Lev AI will officially launch in 2 to 3 weeks. Well, this slide is 2 to 3 weeks old. That's the truth. Lev A.I. will open in the coming week. That's not me making a formal announcement. I'm a brand promoter, as you can be. Lev A.I. is opening in the coming week, and we're all going to receive announcements in the next couple of, sometime today or over the weekend, about the next corporate update, and you will see that this stops being concept and becomes reality in a handful of days. I so strongly encourage you to fully harvest the value of each of those days and don't let a minute of it slip through your grasp. If there's a single thing that I can do to help you, please know that I want to. Know that even if you and I don't know one another, your success matters to me. I have a very soft spot in my heart for those people who are willing to learn more so that they can, if we gather more knowledge and develop more skills and refine our character, in other words, if we become more, then if we find the right opportunity, this newly evolved person with a new opportunity, a better opportunity, can have not just a 10x, but a 100x or even a 1000x on past results. I can't wait to tell your story. That's the truth. I can't wait to tell your story. In just a few minutes from now I'm sorry, it's an hour and a few minutes from now at 2 o'clock Eastern, I will conduct a leadership training. You're all welcome to be a part of that. You can find the information on the WhatsApp group. I'd love to see you there. And tonight we have a special opportunity. Aaron Barley, a superstar in the home-based business arena residing in Australia, will conduct our business presentation tonight. And I literally cannot wait. I encourage you all, a new voice, a new take on the same set of information, a new life experience added to Lev AI. It can dramatically change the way that a person receives the message. It can be a finishing point. If a person's heard from me or someone else, now they hear from Aaron, a finishing point. I strongly encourage you all to make tonight's presentation an outsized, abnormally large one for a weekend because Aaron will do a beautiful job. I'm completely sure. God bless you all. Have a beautiful day. Hope to see you on the leadership session coming up soon. Bye-bye.